Have you ever wondered what it truly takes to build a multi-billion-dollar empire from the ground up? What's the secret sauce behind someone like Elon Musk, a name that's become synonymous with mind-bending innovation and disrupting entire industries? It's not just about having a good idea. It's about a relentless, strategic approach that has turned science fiction into reality. Today, we're diving deep into the playbook of Elon Musk, uncovering the core strategies that propelled him from a curious kid in South Africa to the architect of our future. We'll explore how he thinks, how he builds, and the powerful lessons we can all learn from his incredible journey. So, where did it all begin? Long before Tesla cars were silently cruising down our streets and SpaceX rockets were landing themselves, Musk had already tasted massive success. Back in 1999, he and his brother sold their first company, Zip2, a sort of online city guide, to Compaq for over $300 million. Elon's share was $22 million. What would you do with that kind of money at 28? Buy an island? Retire? Not Musk. He rolled almost all of it into his next venture, XCOM, which later merged with another company to become the PayPal we all know and use today. When eBay bought PayPal in 2002 for $1.5 billion, Musk walked away with about $180 million. Again, he didn't cash out and relax. He took that fortune and bet it all on two seemingly impossible ideas: electric cars and private space travel. This brings us to the first core principle of Musk's strategy: first principles thinking. This is a game changer. Most people reason by analogy. We do things because that's how they've always been done. Musk, however, breaks problems down to their most fundamental, undeniable truths. Take rockets, for example. He asked, "What is a rocket made of?" The answer is aerospace-grade aluminum alloys, titanium, copper, and carbon fiber. Then he asked, "What is the value of those materials on the commodity market?" He discovered that the cost of the raw materials was only about 2% of the typical price of a rocket. This was a jaw-dropping realization. The rest of the cost was tied up in complex manufacturing, legacy processes, and bloated supply chains. By identifying this fundamental truth, he saw the path to making rockets dramatically cheaper. SpaceX wasn't just about building another rocket. It was about completely re-engineering the economics of space travel from the ground up. He applied the same logic to batteries for Tesla, realizing that if he could break down a battery pack into its base components, cobalt, nickel, aluminum, and assemble them efficiently at a massive scale in his own gigafactories, he could slash the cost of electric vehicles and make them accessible to the masses. The second pillar of Musk's empire is vertical integration. This is a fancy term for owning and controlling as much of your production process as possible. While most car companies outsource thousands of parts, Tesla does the opposite. They design and build their own motors, their own battery packs, their own software, and even their own computer chips like the full self-driving chip. They even built their own charging network, the supercharger network, because no one else was doing it at the scale and speed required. Why do this? It gives him insane control over quality, speed, and innovation. If a supplier is too slow or too expensive, he can often just decide to build it in-house. This strategy is also central to SpaceX. They build their own rocket engines, their own spacecraft, and even their own launch pads. This control allows them to iterate and improve at a speed that is unheard of in the traditional aerospace industry. A traditional contractor might take years to approve a design change. SpaceX can literally test an idea, see it fail, and have a new version ready in weeks. This tight feedback loop is a massive competitive advantage. Next up, and perhaps one of the most visible strategies, is using an audacious vision to attract top talent and create a powerful brand. Musk doesn't just sell cars. He sells a mission to accelerate the world's transition to sustainable energy. He doesn't just sell rocket launches. He sells the dream of making humanity a multi-planetary species. These aren't just marketing slogans. They are deeply ingrained in the company culture. This grand vision acts like a magnet for the smartest, most driven engineers and designers in the world. People don't go to work at SpaceX or Tesla for an easy 9-to-5 job. They go there because they want to work on problems that matter, to be part of something historic. This mission-driven approach also creates an army of loyal customers and fans who become brand evangelists. Tesla famously spends next to nothing on traditional advertising. Why would they need to when Musk's Twitter account and the passionate community of owners generate more buzz than any Super Bowl ad ever could? Of course, none of this works without an insane work ethic and a relentless focus on execution. Musk is legendary for his 80 to 100-hour work weeks and for sleeping on the factory floor during production crunches, like the production hell of the Model 3 ramp-up. He believes in setting aggressive, almost impossible deadlines. He calls it scheduling for the best-case scenario. The logic is that even if you miss the deadline, you'll still achieve more faster than if you had set a comfortable, realistic goal. This pushes his teams to find creative shortcuts and work with incredible urgency. It's a high-pressure environment, but it's how they achieve breakthroughs that other companies would spend a decade planning. For instance, the development of the Starship prototype in Boca Chica, Texas, looks more like a chaotic construction site than a pristine aerospace facility, with teams welding and building out in the open 24/7. This rapid, iterative prototyping, building, testing, blowing things up, and building again is execution at its most raw and effective. Finally, let's talk about cross-company synergy. This is the masterstroke that ties everything together. Musk's companies are not isolated ventures. They are part of a larger, interconnected ecosystem. The material science knowledge gained from building heat shields for SpaceX rockets can inform the development of more durable materials for Tesla cars. The battery technology perfected at Tesla's Gigafactories is crucial for SpaceX Starship and for his energy storage company, Tesla Energy. The AI and software expertise from Tesla EOS Autopilot team is foundational for the work being done at his new AI venture xAI. And the Boring Company, which aims to dig tunnels to alleviate traffic, could one day create underground transport networks on Mars built by SpaceX. Each company helps the others, creating a flywheel effect where success in one area accelerates progress in another. It's a long-term, holistic vision where each piece of the puzzle makes the others more valuable and more achievable. So to recap, Elon Musk's strategy isn't magic. It's a potent combination of breaking problems down to their basics with first principles thinking, taking control of the entire production line through vertical integration, inspiring the best people with a world-changing mission, demanding relentless execution with aggressive timelines and creating a synergistic ecosystem where his companies help each other grow. It's a masterclass in building for the long term, betting on fundamental truths, and having the sheer audacity to try and change the world. It's a reminder that with the right mindset and an unstoppable drive, even the most impossible goals can be brought within reach. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive into the mind of a modern innovator. If you found this fascinating, please hit that like button and subscribe for more content that breaks down the strategies behind the world's most influential figures. Let me know in the comments which of Musk's strategies you find most powerful. See you in the next video.